so we can't help in any way, shape, or form when that happens. But essentially, you get to bring as many people as you want. Listen, if you've got a whole sports team worth of people, you can bring them. It will fill up the class pretty fast, but besides that, you're welcome to bring as many people as you want. Now, how you use this is pretty simple. So you can have those people make a mind-body account beforehand. That'll help speed up the process at the front desk. But essentially what you do is you come in with your buddy and you go, hey, this is my friend. They're going to use an ambassador pass. And we go, that's great. And then you guys take class together. So it's pretty simple. You don't really have to do much, but take your friends with you. So if you're interested in doing that, again, just bring your buddy in and we'll figure it all out from there. All right. That's all I have this morning. Let's start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So lay the whole way back onto your spine. One hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. And bring your attention to your breath. So you can close your eyes if that's going to help you really focus on your breath. But we're looking to start deepening and lengthening our breath here. Take a nice full breath in. And exhale all that air back out. Let's go for it again. Big, long inhale, filling up all the way to maximum capacity. And a long exhale. One more time. Take a breath in. And a breath out. That's it. This one's so good. One last time. I know I keep saying that. And let it go. Pick your hands up straight out in front of you. And you're going to interlace your fingertips. Now, I want you to point your fingertips down towards your heels. Yep, don't worry. And now you're going to curl your head and chest right up off of your mat. And then pick your toes up off of the mat. So this kind of looks like almost like crow pose, but on your back. We're going to add some little crunches here. So with each breath out, reach up towards your toes. We're going to do this for 10, 9. Keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Hug your knees into your chest. And from here, let's rock 3 times. All the way forwards. And all the way backwards. On that third rock, we're coming all the way over onto our hands and knees, all 4s. From here, we're going to start today with warming up our upper spine. I love these guys. So let's start with the thoracic spine press. So between your shoulder blades, actively press that straight up towards the ceiling. So you're looking for that spot right between your shoulders, lifting as high as it can go. As you press down, press your pointer finger and your thumb into the mat. The harder you press, the more you'll actually feel your belly button engage, pulling up and back towards your spine. On your next breath out, we're now going to go the opposite direction. So let the center of your chest sink down between your shoulders. We're not necessarily looking for cow here where you're tilting your head up and your pelvis up. Instead, we're just looking for this sinking action. Keep breathing here. Use your exhales to let that point right between your shoulder blades depress down towards the mat. That's it. Breathing and letting this one spot sink. Good job. 2 more breaths here. Focusing on letting this point just drop down towards the mat. Yeah, letting your arms pull up long on the sides. That's a really good job. Now let's go the other way one more time. So cat spine. Bring it all the way up. Yep, that's it, Caitlin. You've got it here. Oh, well, I guess I've got 2 Caitlins this morning. Now, both of you guys are going to have to take these directions whenever I say Caitlin, okay? Pressing that center spine up. Good job. Let's take a few cat-cow stretches. So this was just a thoracic spine press. We're really going to articulate it now. So on your cow, you're going to tilt your tailbone up, let your head come up. On the cat spine, tuck your chin in towards your shoulders and then tuck your tailbone underneath of you. We're going to just come back and forth on an inhale and exhale. 2 more. In and out. Last breath. Full inhale. Full exhale. From here, come back to your tabletop spine. So we're looking for a flat spine here. Now you're going to pick your right hand up straight out in front of you and extend your left leg. The whole trick here is going to be making sure that your hand and foot stay level, not letting them drop down for a cat spine or come up too high for a cow spine. We're looking for just one straight line here. Now breathe. Let your breath help you build the intensity of this pose. That's it. Big inhales, followed by long exhales. Many at home, that means you too. One more time. In and out. Drop your hand and foot down, and then we'll go to the opposite side. Left hand out and left leg out. Now stretch as far as you can from your fingertips all the way back towards your toes. Your breath is lighting up this pose. One more time. In. And on the exhale, bring your hands and feet down. Tuck your toes. Inhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in, filling up all the way, and let it go. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Walk your hands back to your feet. Yeah, good job, guys. Take a halfway lift on your breath in. Ragdoll exhale. Letting your head and arms hang down. Looking for a big C-shaped spine. Pressing the pit of your belly up towards the ceiling above you. You can let your head and arms hang heavy. Take a little sway here if you like that. Now, press the center of both of your heels into the mat. Good adjustments there. From here, lift all of your toes up off the mat. Spread each one of your toes as wide as it'll go and press the big toe mound down into the mat. So like the knuckle of your big toe. From here, hug your inner ankles back. So think about your feet going long behind you. And then your outer shins in. What this is going to feel like is a change at your hips. It's actually this slight inward rotation. Press down through your feet. Zip your belly up and roll all the way to standing. When you get here, take extended mountain. And exhale your hands to heart center. We'll open class today with 1 Om. Take your breath in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Walk your hands out to a high plank, and then we'll go through the rest of our chaturanga. So low plank, upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 2 breaths here. Pull that air in and let it go. One more time. Inhale. Exhale on empty, feet to hands. Halfway lift, breath in. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Breathe in all the way up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog on the exhale. 2 breaths here. Think about pressing your pointer fingers and your thumbs down into the mat. One more time. Take a breath in. And out, bend your knees. Step or float. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain up. Drishti to 1 point. fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 2 breaths here. In, press your sits bones up and back out. One more time, inhale. Bend your knees, exhale, hop. Halfway lift, forward fold. Extended mountain, go up and back this time. Fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Start by hugging your arms in towards center. That's it. One more time. Breath in. Bend your knees. Exhale. Hop. Halfway lift in. Forward fold. Last one. Extended mountain up and back as big as you can go. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. One more time. Inhale. Bend your knees. Move. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Hug in through your legs. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Square both of your hips to the front of the mat. Chaturanga. Move through. Up dog on the breath in. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Looking to square, again, both of your hips to the front. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. That's it. Take a full breath in and sigh it out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sit nice and low into your hips. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Moving through. Upward facing dog with your breath in. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Pressing through your big toe as you sit low onto the mat. Chaturanga. Good job. Up dog. And through to downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Checking out that both hips face the front. Oh yeah, just like that. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog with the breath in. Downward facing dog. That's it. Take your breath in. Open your mouth. Sigh it out. Yeah, you can make some noise here. One more time. In. Sigh on that exhale. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Big breath in. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, moving through your high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Stepping down through your big toe. Chaturanga. Up dog. Into downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Low into your hips, both facing the front of the mat. Chaturanga, good adjustment. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Sigh it out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Let's bring our right leg into the air. So kick that heel straight to the ceiling. Now bend your knee. Open up your hips. Stay here or flip dog. So somebody explained this pose to me for the first time the other day. I always used to picture this as a power pose, but instead let's look at it as a stretch. Press your right knee towards the back side of your mat. And at the same time, reach your right hand forward. So it's actually a side-to-side stretch here. From your knee all the way to your fingertips. Get as long as you can. Good job, Caitlin. Last breath here. Flip it back over. High plank. Side plank. Right hand down. Now for this side plank, I'm going to ask you to scoot your right leg out in front of you. So it'll be your left leg doing the support here. Yeah, that's it. So bring your right foot about halfway up the mat. Oh, yeah, all the way up here. Oh, I know. And now we're going to add some foot bounces to this. So you're going to bring out your foot up your mat, off your mat. You can just tap it right here. Yes, you have it. We're going to go for 5, 4. You have this. 3, 2, 1. All right, chaturanga. My mom did that for the first time the other day in class, and I was like, Lisa Taylor, that's rude. I didn't know that could hurt, but take it downward facing dog. All right, so we're going to have to explore those things on the next side too. Let's bring your left leg up into the air, heel as high as it'll go. So picture a height in this one. Yeah, kick that center of the heel straight to the ceiling. Now, bend your knee. Open up your hip. You can choose to stay in three-legged or go for flip dog. Now, no matter where you're at, we're now looking at the stretch on the left-hand side. So, Carolyn, we're doing the same thing here. Press this knee out. And now with this same hand, you're going to reach forward. So we've got a two-way directionality happening here. How's that? Let's stay for 2 breaths here. You have this. Oh, good job. One more time. You have it. Okay, flip it back over. High plank. Side plank. Now it's going to be which left leg through. Yep. Yes, here we go. Okay, so Josh, sorry to pick on you. We're going for the 5 bounces. You can tap my hand. Let's go for 5. Good job. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Good job. Let's go through up dog. Downward facing dog. Oh, yeah. Take your breath in. Sigh. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. Right side crescent lunge. That's it. Take your feet nice and wide on the mat. If you've been in my classes before, Hayden, you'll learn this too. But that's my favorite cue in this pose. I love it. So bring your back foot up off the mat. See how Caitlin's got her toes here? Yeah. And now lift that back heel off the mat even higher. So I'm going to come around. Carolyn, take this foot out like 1 more inch. Yeah. And then really engage this back foot until you get your heel even a little bit further. You can bend this knee just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, now reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. I know that one's a little different. Put your drishti on the ceiling as well. So eyes go up, and we're going to take 3 breaths here. You've got this. 2 more times. Just let it be steady. Last one in. On your exhale, bring your hands together, and we're going to twist to the right. Yes. Let's go for open arms today. So yeah, opening it up to the side of your mat. It's going to help you deepen this twist. Each exhale, think about bringing engagement to this back leg so you can lift your left hip even higher. Last breath here. And on your inhale, we're going to rise up. Take crescent lunge into warrior 2. Oh, yeah. So this is the point in the practice where I always start to feel the tapas. You're building heat in your body. We're going to use that heat later in the practice. So this is a spot where you can just build. I promise. It's for a purpose. It's for a reason. If you're like, what the hell does tapas feel like in my body? Or what is that? Hey, listen, that's sometimes how it is. You're looking for sweat. Right now it's sweat. It's a higher heart rate than usual. It's a faster breath. That's tapas. And listen, it can be uncomfortable, right? And that's okay right here. We're going to lean into that just a little bit further. Get lower into the front leg. We're taking it right to the edge of this pose. Extended side angle. Right hand down. Left hand up to the ceiling. You know, if we're going to do all this to work with tapas, we might as well do it here too. So reach both hands out in front of you. Oh, yeah, like you're holding a beach volleyball, picking them straight up overhead. Good job. We're going to take 2 breaths here. You have it. That's it. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. You found so much extra depth there. Let's move through up dog and into down dog. Yep, take your breath in. Sigh it out. Oh yeah, once more. Let it go. Left side crescent lunge. Now fingertips up to the ceiling. Who knows my favorite cue here? It's going to be feet wide and then heel up. Yeah, you're doing a really good job here. Keep this back leg super active. Good. Now come a little bit lower into the front lunge. You've got it. That's it. Take 3 breaths here. 2 more times. Last one. Breathe in. Exhale your hands to heart center. And we're going to twist to the left. That's it. Open arms here. We're going for the biggest twist that you can find. So not only are we twisting towards the side of the mat, but you're also thinking about twisting this top shoulder open and softening through your thoracic spine. Good job. 2 more breaths here. You have it. Last one. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Take crescent lunge into warrior 2. Man, I really thought I was going to accidentally push you over. I'm glad we didn't do that. Okay, that's good. Listen, some mornings it is me, and that's okay. All right, low down here. You know we're building the tapas in this pose. What does it mean? It's heat. So let your legs shake. I know you should be putting enough energy into this pose that you're really feeling maximum capacity. You're like, I'm as low as I can go. I'm pressing my fingertips out as wide as it can go. You can actually feel a stretch the whole way across your chest with how wide your hands are. Extended side angle. Now, come down here low in the lunge for the first one. We're going to get the release. So there is a little bit of release here, the lower you get in the lunge. And there can also be some challenge. Let's reach both hands out in front of us. Yep, so almost like you're holding a beach volleyball, just like that. Good job. 2 breaths. You can do anything for 1 more breath. Breathe in. And on your exhale, chaturanga, we're going to bring it right back to the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Sigh it out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sitting nice and low down into those heels. We're going to hug into center line. So if you had a block between your knees, we're hugging into that. You know what? We all have blocks, so we might as well bring them with us. Hey, great job, yogis. Now from here, hug into center line. I want you to hug so hard into this block that you can actually feel your stomach muscles becoming active. That's what you should feel when you're hugging into center line. Literally, like there's one line that moves directly down the whole center of your body, just like that. Last breath as you hug, fold. Take your feet out wide on the mat. Tuck your pointer fingers around your big toes and let your head hang down. I forgot my water bottle, so I'm just going to grab that from the front desk. 1 moment. You can shake your head yes and no, particularly if your neck doesn't love relaxing here. Because for a lot of us, that's true. It gets stuck in that back position. Are we ready? Chair pose round 2. So let's bring the blocks with us again this time. I personally never do chair pose at this point without a block. I just find it's a lot easier to maintain center line if you have something to hug into. So now sit low. You know how to hug into this block already. We're going to do both twists here. So bring your hands to heart center and now twist to the right. Go for the open arms. You have a block to hug into, so you can actually think about pressing this left knee backwards just a little bit. Good job. Now look to twist up and open towards the ceiling. Stay. Last breath here. In and out. Breathe in. Rise up. Take chair pose. Hands to heart center, twist it open to the left. I think that was like 3 breaths. So that's what we're going for here. The louder you breathe, the more I actually remember to count. Don't worry, we're only at like 1 more breath. Let it go. Inhale, rise up, take chair pose. Fold. Bring your feet out wide on the mat and tuck your palms underneath your toes. I'm going to tell you guys the pro tip that I put into my practice every single time I practice here in the studio. If an instructor says, okay, 3 breaths, and you really want it to actually be 3 breaths, just breathe as loudly, like as aggressively as humanly possible, and they'll actually remember to count. It's really, it works. I swear. You can shake your head yes and no. Oh no, I know exactly what we're doing this morning. So take downward facing dog. We're going to use our blocks for this. So here's how it's going to work. From your downward facing dog, bring your block into your right hand for this one, or right beside your right hand. From here, we're going to come up high on our tippy toes and walk your feet halfway up the mat. This should mean that your shoulders are getting stacked right on top of your wrists. From here, this is where the block's going to come into play. So with your right hand, grab your block, and you're sticking it right between your thigh and your chest. So just as a heads up, the right leg is going to be the kicking leg for this one. Bring your left leg up towards the ceiling. You're going to keep that block hugged in by taking your little handstand hops and potentially keeping your knee tucked in towards your chest. You want to keep holding that block. Oh yes, yogis, here we go. For 5. We're just trying it on. 4. You've got it. Little hops with the bottom foot. Good job. 3, 2, and 1. All right, child's pose. We're going to take a break between sides. But you know that we're going to have to even it out and do the other side. That's it. Let your sits bones rest down. Let your hands get really long on the mat. Take a breath in and let it go, letting your heart rate settle just a little bit. You're using your breath here like a steam valve to let some of the tapas out. Yes, tapas is really useful and we're going to use it in our practice, but it can also get a little too hot sometimes. Use your breath like a steam valve, letting some of that air out, some of the heat out. Come back to downward facing dog. And we get to try this on the left side now. So come to down dog, block beside your left hand. From your downward facing dog, you want to make sure that your pointer finger and your thumb are really pressing down into the mat for these poses. Come up onto your tippy toes and walk your feet halfway up your mat. You should be able to keep your hands on the ground for this. And now grab your block. You're looking for left thigh and your left chest. Again, right leg into the air. Here we go. 5 handstand hops. Let's go for 5, 4. That's it. 3. They can be little hops or big hops. 2 and 1. Child's pose. Really nicely done, yogis. So have any of you ever done a handstand before? I'm here to tell you guys, a handstand means 2 hands on the feet and no mat on the feet. So, no mat on the feet, no feet on the mat. So if you got even a little baby hop in there where neither of your feet were on the mat, hey, that's a handstand. You did it. That's the inversion. That's all it takes. Now you can work on getting your feet higher off the mat, but that's a handstand, no matter what it looked like. Last breath in. and out. From here, rise up to a seated position. We're actually going to come onto our spine. So roll the whole way onto your back. If we're going to do inversions, that means we're working on core. So my favorite way to do equanimity with a focus on core is here on the mat. Bring your shins to parallel with the mat. So knees bent, and then we'll move to eagle from here. So right arm wraps under, and right leg wraps over top. The thing that's going to be important in this pose is getting both of your shoulders on the mat and then both of your hip bones. So you want your whole spine from your shoulder blades all the way down to the backs of your hips on the mat. Now add a little bit of hug between your legs. That's it. Like you're hugging your bottom leg up and your top leg down. On your next inhale, reach your hands out overhead and stretch your legs long. We'll switch sides. So left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. That's it. Now, the more press that you add with your legs, the more you flex your feet, the more your low belly is going to engage in this pose. That's it. Add all of the hug that you can get. On your inhale, stretch out long in the mat and switch sides. Right arm under, right leg over. Now let's add a little bit more press to this. So Caitlin, bend this bottom knee a little bit more. Yeah, just like that. And now you're going to press against my thigh. Yep, so top leg pressing down, bottom leg pressing down. You can add some crunches to this, crunching your elbows up towards your knees. Let's do it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, switch sides. So left arm under, left leg over. This is the last set of eagle. We're adding our little eagle crunches. Here they go for 5, 4. Low belly active. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hug your knees into your chest. And now we're going to rock head to toe 3 times. All the way forwards and all the way backwards. Come to all fours. So we've actually already done this next pose before in this class, and it's airplane. What airplane looks like on the ground is this. We're in our tabletop position, keeping that long straight spine from the beginning of class. Reach your right hand forwards and your left leg backwards. Now, I want you to look for steadiness in this pose, stretching as long as humanly possible from your fingertips all the way to your heels. Your core is doing the work of this pose. Flex the back foot. Now press your heel even farther. We're going for the longest stretch that you can get. Switch sides. So now we're going right hand out, left hand out. Or if you started with the opposite side, that's fine. Reaching as far as you can go. Hug into center line. So press against my hand. That's it for 5, 4, 3, 2. You can add a little more press. 1, come back down. All right. Right side half moon. What this looks like. On all fours, bring your right forearm to the mat. This right leg is actually going to act like the kickstand as you bring your left hand and your left leg up. Just like you would do if you were standing, you're looking for your hips to stack one on top of the other. Okay, you can add a little bit of press here, and then we're going to go for some lift in the hip. That's it. Take 2 more breaths here. You got it. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring both hands and feet to the ground. Good job. All right. Left side. Left forearm down. Right hand and right leg into the air. You have the space for this. Let yourself fully engage by low belly hugging up and in, and your front ribs are hugging into center so that you can lift as high as you can go. I like the candy cane possibility there, Josh. Last breath and come back down. To be honest, I've never tried that in that pose. I thought I would fall over immediately. Yeah? Okay, that's a shocking thing to me. I'm going to have to try that the next time I practice. Let's try. Let's go straight to tree pose, actually. So roll the whole way onto your spine. Yep, I love that. All the way back. Good job. Now you're going to bring, let's go hands up for tree pose today. Right foot is going to come to your ankle, your shin, or your thigh. Now the trick here is going to be not letting this right knee just plop down onto the mat. I actually want you to hug into center line. So your foot is going to hug into your leg, and your leg is going to hug into your foot. You're going to create this pressing action. That's it, Caroline. So you hug against my ankle and then press your feet together. Well, feet plus leg together. That's it. Using your whole belly to support this. Stretching as long as you can. On your next breath, we'll switch sides. So set it up so that your left leg this time is doing the work of staying lifted off the ground. So left foot in to your ankle, your shin, or your thigh. We're going to hug in towards center line now. So just pressing. Yeah, that's a good job. Let's go for 3 breaths here. Stretching as far as you can go. Good job. 2 more times. Last one. And release. So now hug your knees into your chest. And we're going to rock 3 times. All the way forwards, all the way back. On that 3rd round, keep going up and back. 3rd round, feet go into the mat. Chair pose. Oh yeah, right down. Oh, you have it. Listen, if you got close, take 1 more rock and try it again. Go forwards and back all the way. You have to build some speed. Chair pose. Hey, good job. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog when you breathe in. Downward facing dog. Take right side triangle. Yep, that's it. Right hand down either to your ankle, your shin, or just behind your foot. A block can also be helpful here. Look for a stretch in your side body. Think about sending your hips backwards while reaching as far forwards as you can, all the way up through the edges. Take 1 more breath here. And on your next inhale, we're going to rise up. Both feet face the long end of your mat for side-facing, wide-legged forward fold. Yep. And just as a heads up, we're only doing one side of these. So we're going to give you yogi's choice today. You get to choose. You can walk your fingertips out in front of you. Take some ninja lunges where you're moving from side to side, or even a bind with your hands. So interlacing your fingers and letting them fall overhead. You get to choose the version of this pose that's going to feel best and have the biggest impact in your body this morning. Yeah, and sometimes you even get a little combination of the poses going. You get to choose what's right for you here. Let's take 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. Walk your hands back in towards your feet. And then to the front side of your mat for half split or runner's lunge variations. Yeah, if you are dying for a namaste front facing forward fold, that's also a-okay here. We've got lots of options in this pose. I have 3 namaste front facing forward folds. I'm shocked by you guys. That's good. Here, bring this back foot a little bit closer, actually. Yeah, just like that, so that you can get your heel onto the ground. You're looking for like a mini warrior 1 stance. Yeah, that's it. And then fold forwards. So the stretch that you're looking for is actually a long stretch up the back side of your front leg. Yeah, that's it. Carolyn, can you plant this heel back down onto the mat? And potentially, yes, straighten out this front leg. I know that's going to be a big change in your hips here, but we're looking for just like that. Oh, yeah. And you can still drop your head forwards. That's a good job, everyone. Let's take one more breath here since we all just got into the poses, and then we'll get right back out. Move through downward facing dog. And from down dog, we'll take left side triangle. So left foot comes all the way forwards on this one. Now, Caitlin, I'm coming over to you because I know this is tricky for you. So we're going for the long side body. I'm going to help with the same assist here that we've done before. Give me this left hand. So as you're leaning, check out that you're creating all of the space. You know that you want to reach as far forwards as humanly possible before you keep your upper body where it is and just let this bottom hand drop. Yeah, like that. Now reach up through the top fingers. Yes. Do you feel how much more space is created on the sides when you do it like that? Long side body here. Good job. Everybody press your big toe down into the mat. Just like that. On your next breath in, we're going to rise up to standing and take Namaste front facing forward fold or your splits variation. So my Namaste front facing forward fold. We're doing a mini warrior one stance. That means both feet facing forwards, at least hip width distance, if not a little bit wider. From here, you can interlace your fingertips behind your back and fold forwards. We're looking for a straight leg in the front leg. Yes, just like that. Now, actively, half splits and Namaste front facing. Think about pulling your left hip backwards. Yeah, so both of my Caitlins can add a little bit more of that. Josh, you too. Now flex this front foot. Yes. So I know that's a little bit harder here, but really think about your heel pressing into the mat or pressing forwards for you in the splits. Left hip goes backwards, and then we'll move out. Come back through to downward facing dog. If you're dying for an extra chaturanga, don't worry. You can always get that in here, but you can also just go straight to down dog. From downward facing dog, roll to your high plank. So all the way out here, come to a forearm plank. So forearms are going to press down onto the mat. Oh, yes, yogis. Now, you can either go for some hip dips to either side or just go for a stillness here. Stillness is actually the harder option. We're going to go for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way back down. Let's take locust pose. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And now actively press those fingertips down towards your heels so hard that your chest and shoulders lift up off of the mat. Once you've got that action going, lift your toes too, and suddenly you're in locust pose. We're going to do this for 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way back down. Yep, you can TikTok your knees from side to side. Let's go for floor bow. Hands by the outer edges of your feet or your ankles. You can go for inner ankles or outer ankles. Ready, set, yogi, go. Press down, lift up, inhale, floor bow. Good job. Hug both of your knees into center line for 5, 4. Add so much breath to this pose that you rock for 3, 2, 1. Yogis down. Wow. Let's take an upward facing dog. This is like the best pose out of this whole entire series. Shoulders rolling up and back. Knees down. And we're going to switch all the way backwards for bridge pose. We're going to take a little vote here. Thumbs up if you're dying to do wheel today. Maybe one? Okay, I like that. We're only going to do one wheel today, but bridge pose. So we're going to set this pose up, feet out wide. Press your heels down into the mat, hips up. So we know that bridge pose is our warm-up pose for bigger back bends like wheel. Now, just like in locust pose, interlace your fingers and press them down to your heels. What this should cause is your shoulders to be contracted more deeply underneath of yourself. So you might have to do a little wobble right to left to get them really tucked under there. Okay, good job. Now hips down. We take a break between these two sides. You can wobble your knees from right to left. Tick-tock right and left. And then we'll go for a second set. Press down, lift up, hips into the air for bridge pose. Yes, yogis. All right, this time, reach both of your hands straight up towards the ceiling. Now I want you to flex your wrists. So it almost looks like you're going to do a handstand on the ceiling. From here, bend your elbows and tuck your fingertips right underneath your shoulders. You get to either stay here in this version of bridge or ready, set. Yogis go, wheel pose. Press down, lift up, inhale for 5, 4. Nice job. 3, 2, 1. Tuck your chin, come all the way back down, and we'll take Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand on your heart and one hand on your shoulder. Hey, A+, everybody. You're getting gold stars today. We had a full room of wheel poses. I haven't taught very many wheel poses lately, but that has not happened in a long time. So A+. Let's take happy baby. Hands by the outer edges of your feet and rock right to left and left to right. All the way backwards and all the way forwards. Hug your knees into your chest. I think that we should do one more stability pose here. So, fingertips behind your ears, shins parallel to the mat. This is it. We're going to take some little yogi bicycles here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Consciously connecting your elbow and your knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, knees into your chest, rock head to toe 3 times. We're making our way all the way into right side half pigeon. Connecting your, right ankle behind your left wrist for this pose. And bending your knee. Check it out. If you're rolling onto the right side of your right thigh, or generally that hip is floating out there in space, you can help connect this pose with a block underneath of your hip. I told you earlier in class that we were building Tapas because we need it. We'd use it later on in class. This is the later on in class. Humans are really similar to a piece of metal in ways. When we're cold, our muscles are cold, our bodies are cold, we're pretty brittle. We're strong but inflexible. There's not a whole lot of bend to us unless we're willing to really just break. But when you add heat, you add tapas to your practice, to your body, what happens when you heat metal? It bends. Sometimes when I'm working really super hard in a class and I'm frustrated by all of that tapas that is happening, that gets created, I'm mad because this shouldn't be that hard in my mind. I let this be the goal. I'm like, okay, I know if I put this much heat in, I'll get this much more stretch later in the class. And for some reason, that argument works really well in my brain. And maybe it'll work well for you too. Understanding that the heat has purpose. But let's switch. Let's come through downward facing dog real quick. Here in down dog, I want you to take a second to notice the difference in your body. Yeah, one side has all of this new space, this opening, and the other side doesn't. There's an imbalance here that we've purposefully created. I want you to just feel that in your body real quick. And now we can move to left side half pigeon. And start evening out those sides, allowing the same opportunity for the left side to open as we did for the right. So when I used to teach for Aim to Empower, our sister nonprofit, I used to teach a class of kids actually right here in this room, ages anywhere from 6 to 14, which, by the way, if you know children at all, is a huge age range, spanning from semi-sane to absolutely not sane. They were a lot of fun, but they had a ton of energy. Of course, a group of kids actually in their summer camp, they have no interest in yoga for the most part. So I used bribes. And this book actually became the bribe. So this book is called Journey to the Heart, and it's pretty special. But the kids and I, we called it the magic book. And this is how you use the magic book. You close your eyes and you open it to a random page. And that's it. Whatever the page has to say, that one's for you. Let's come through downward face. Actually, wait into your left hip. Swing your right leg around. We're coming all the way back to fish pose. So you can take a little staff pose, fingertips out in front of you, heels out in front of you, and slowly roll onto your spine. Fish pose means a block between your shoulder blades. We all have the regular width blocks here, so if you prefer a skinnier one, I can always grab one of those for you. But we look like we're pretty good. If you're using a block underneath of your spine, bring your hands out to a T. With with both palms flipped up towards the ceiling. Fish pose is considered to be a heart opener. It's this specific group of poses, which is a big chest stretch. Poses like this make us feel vulnerable. So sometimes, even if there's not physical discomfort here, there can be emotional discomfort. You might notice that your body starts to say, whoa, 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 pump the brakes. I want to get out of this pose right now. See if you can stay for one more breath. The magic book says, feel your feelings. You don't have to do anything about your feelings. Understand that. Believe that. They are only feelings. Emotional energy is important It's important not to block it, stop it, deny it, or repress it. It's important to discharge it, to value it, and to value ourselves. From here, rock off to the right side. Yep, supporting your head and neck as you roll off of your block. Then we'll roll back onto our spines and hug your knees into your chest. We're going to let them fall to the left side of our body, eyes over our right shoulders. But you don't have to do anything. You don't have to act on every feeling. You don't have to control every emotion or let your emotions control you. Doing something is the old way, the way of control. Simply feel whatever you need to feel. Become fully and completely conscious of what you feel. Take responsibility for the way you choose to express your feelings. Then let your feelings go. Release the emotional energy. Soon you will know what to do next. Soon you will know what lesson is underway. You will naturally take the action that's right for you to take. Let your knees drop to the right, eyes to the left. All you have to do about your feelings is feel them. Hug your knees into your chest. Take Shavasana, letting your legs and arms go long. If you haven't already found it, your cold eye towel is by the upper right-hand corner of your mat. You're welcome to use it. Slowly start to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, bring some wiggle back to your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees up into your chest. Rock onto the right side of your mat, placing your forehead on the floor. With your next breath, rise up to a seated position. On your inhale, reach both fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale your hands down to heart center. We'll close class today with one Om. Take your breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles up to forehead center. The light in me sees, honors, and acknowledges the light in each and every one of you. To acknowledge that, we bow our heads and we say, Namaste. Thanks, yogis. Great to see you this morning. Thank you for coming in.